So let me create a sample job. Go to new item and let's say.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good morning. Okay, as of now, and one more thing is like we can straight away create this pipeline type of job. Create this pipeline type of job. So here you can see everything is same, but here you can see pipeline script. You may write the script here, right? Whatever we are talking about. Or else for now you can use some sample script like a hello world script, something like this. See? Your code begins with a pipeline block. Whenever you open a curly process, there should be a matching closing one. So this is a pipeline block. Agent means the machine where you want to run. Agent any means it will go to whichever machine available. In our case, it's a master. Stages. Stages are nothing but phases. You can have any number of stages like we have hello world stage here. Let's say this is about compile. I'm not writing the actual steps, only the print commands. So here comes compiling the code, right? Similarly, you can have any number of stage blocks repeated as such. This is one stage. I could have multiple stages added as such. Of course, it's not compiling, just an echo command. We'll see how it can compile. So this is how it looks. I just have added two stages compiling units. Means I'm just showing you the format and you could see the stages here. Do you see that? It's almost like a freestyle job wherein you will integrate different stages in a single job in the code this way. This is how you see your, if you want to configure, you can go back and modify this. Keep adding the stages or whatever you want. I would like to add one more stage. You can keep adding any number of stages. Package. Package the code. Right? So this is how it is. Are we good?
Where we have to see that echo message print where it has.
Console output.
Okay, in a console out. Okay,
Yeah,
thank
in
you.
console output, you can see. Right, so this is how, this is nothing but pipeline as a code concept. This is a declarative syntax. You can do lot many things with it. We'll go for it. But before that, if you keep here every time I have to change the code, the best practice is keep this code in a version control system like GitHub, right? So just create a branch here. The best practice is, okay, let me remove all unnecessary files. I already cleaned up yesterday one project. I think it's a Maven demo. I might have cloned from there. Just a second. Let me clone from there. Maven demo is the one I have cleaned up. Okay. Go to Maven demo. Let's create from here. Okay, I'm creating a branch called B2. Right, this is the one. So this is the branch we have. source code, POM file, and some screenshot for the application and README. So now let's create, rather than placing the code there, always the best practice is create a file called Jenkins file and put all the code here. This is the best practice, right? So you have Jenkins file. Then how do you use it in the repository? Here, instead of placing the code, choose this option, pipeline script from SCM. Which SCM? The repository URL. This is the repository URL and it is B2 branch. Branch name is B2. Okay. That's all. See here, script path is Jenkins file. You can give any other name, but that's a standard practice. We give the name as Jenkins file. But if you give any name, you have to change that file name here. And again, if you execute, it works the same. So which is the best practice, to keep the code on the UI, or this is how you should keep the code? Right? Check out, because it's getting the code from the GitHub and then it's executing the status. Checkout is the additional one added. So which is the best practice? Hmm. Okay. Um, I'm just cloning that repository here. This is the flow. We'll make changes from the local. So yeah, this is the one. And git status. Okay, go to address book. One git status. Okay, let's go to switch to B2 branch. This is where we have created our Jenkins file, right? So this is the one. And yeah, this is what we have. Now, any changes you have, you can make the changes here, push to the repository, and then run the pipeline. Is that making sense? So now let's continue enhancing this. What are all the things you have? We have seen pipeline block, stages block, stage block. Let's look into something called parameters block. Parameters means variables. If you want to define some parameters, yes, you can use. And also what type of parameters? Yes, there are different type of parameters. The syntax is available on the official documentation. See, first I have defined a string parameter. String parameter, which is env, boolean parameter, execute test case, choice parameter, app version, and so on. What are these? String parameter, environment variable, and the default value is test, means it will take some text input. Boolean means it's true or false. I have taken a Boolean value, and then choice, like a drop down with all these drop down values. How do you get the syntax and all, we'll see. So if you define the parameters at any point of time, if you want to use it, yeah, you can refer them with the parameters dot. Like let's say I just want to print here after echo deploying the app version, or okay, or else compiling in some environment. Compiling in some environment, right? Compiling in which environment? And the variables will be referred with the dollars, brackets, params dot, the variable name. right? That's how you could refer to this variable. This is the variable, string variable. And similarly, if you want to print in the deployment part, deploying the app version, something like this, right? So I just made some changes. I would like to see that. So git commit -am params block added. Push this. Git push horizon b2. Right? So now if you see here, you have all the changes. Now if you run the pipeline, it will apply these changes. See? That's the flow. You make changes in your local push to GitHub, and you could put here a webhook so that your pipeline will be triggered with the changes. So if you click on build, in the console output, you can see those parameters. env null. Why it is env null, I'll tell you. So then applying the app version 1.1. 1.1 where it is coming and why is the other one null? Let's see. See 1.1. This is the default value, the first one. And here env. I have given env. Capital env is not there, right? This is the variable. That's why it's showing null. Let me push the code and let's re-trigger it. Following everyone. See, second time onwards, you will see your parameters whichever defined. Test parameter is, this is how test parameter, sorry, string parameter looks like. It's a text box. Boolean parameter is checkbox, either true or false. It selected means true. Unselected means false. Anyway, I'm not using it as of now. App version with all the parameters, you could choose whichever you need and build it. And in the console output, earlier it was null because I used capital ENV, but now it's working as expected. 1.3. That's what is parameterized builds. This could be done from the UI as well. See, whenever you wrote that lines of code for parameters, this option is selected and you see your parameters in the configuration this way. You might be asking, can't we do it without pipeline as a code? You can do. This is how you do. Go to job configuration, select this option. This project is parameterized and add those parameters. Understood the parameters part, everyone?
Yes, Preeti.
Thanks
Preeti,
for
this will be
confirming. How about others?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
So you could add them straight away from the UI. What I mean is, let me make it more clear. Go to compile job. I can parameterize this. Go here and there will be an option parameterize this. This project is parameterized. Add Boolean, choice, credential, file. All of these are different parameters you could add. Boolean parameter means choice. I mean, you will see it as a checkbox. This is how you can do, but I'm doing it from the code. Like I told you, right? If you do it from the code, you can maintain versions of it. You could know like what changes are happening there. You can save the history. Whereas if you do it from the UI, if someone changes, there is no history maintained. So always better do it from the code. Whatever you do from the UI can be done from the code. So I have shown you how to parameterize your builds. In this case, it doesn't make any sense where is environment and app version. But in reality, if you have something like this, I have introduced string Boolean choice. You could have different types of parameters. How do you know like what is the syntax and all? Always refer the official documentation. You don't need to learn a separate language or take a separate training for this. It's a like on the flow you can use it because you have documentation and this is the official documentation for a pipeline as a code. And if you go for the syntax reference, here are the table of contents, like what is meant by stages block. Stages block we have already used. Number 1, it is explained. Stages section will display so stages block, stages section will typically follow the directives. Inside this, you have agents, steps, everything explained here. Here we were talking about this. I have explained agent, stages, steps, and we were talking about this parameter. See, it has got all the syntaxes. This is where I have copied it. You don't need to write line by line. This is how you can. See, if anyone new to programming, you don't need actually any programming skills or background of it. But still, if anyone new to programming or scripting, you don't need to panic or don't need to worry. You can learn it as a separate subject and you don't need to write line by line. You can copy from here and use the syntax and modify it. I'll show you much more simpler ways of generating this using ChatGPT in the coming up classes. So stay relaxed, consider it as a new subject and do it. It's not coding like developers do. That's a different thing. Again, you might be asking, this is code, do we need to learn? This is not coding, okay? This is just using the templates or scripts and using it. Coding like developers do is a totally different thing. So yeah, you have all the parameters here. From this is where I have copied and modified. You could also use it. See examples, everything is there. So that is about the parameters block. And then you could also have conditional statements here. Like let's say you have some condition. I want to execute this unit testing only for, let's say, when this parameter, Boolean parameter execute test is true. Yes, you can do that. Go to this stage, unit test. Before the steps block, you can add the when conditional statement. How it works: when expression params dot execute test is true, right? This is how it works. Yes. Right? So that's how you have the params block. So now let's see how this works. Only if it is true, I want to execute this stage. That's how when conditionals can be executed. Even if you don't know like how it works, here it is. Here there should be, yes, when conditional. Do you see that? When block or when directive. So how it works, everything is there. You can use some regular expressions also to match the pattern kind of. So now what I would do, let me run the pipeline. I made the changes, I pushed it. It might have updated here. Yes. Now let me run the pipeline. Where is our pipeline? Okay. Now, if you want, you can change. I want to give prod for environment. Version is 1.3 and this is selected means it's true. True means that stage should execute. Here the stage means it's just printing echo command. I did not write the real steps. We'll write that. Okay, but I'm just showing first all the blocks, all the conditions. See, unit test stage executed. All right, next time I have unselected it. Let's see what happens. Here you can clearly see stage unit test skipped due to one conditional. Do you see that? So if you see the stages, yes, this unit test is skipped. Got it, everyone? Are we good and clear? So that's how you can use when conditional statements and then
Here is Priti, we need to select the environment, right? Otherwise, it will fail, skip the unit test, right? In this scenario.
execute test option you have to select. Otherwise, it will not execute that state. It will not fail. It will skip that. See, no execution.
Okay. Yeah, correct.
Okay. So it
Yes.
says skip it due to when condition. That's all. It is
Mm.
skipping. So that's a when condition. And also, let's say you want your pipeline to wait for manual input. Maybe before going for deployment, you want it to wait for a manual input, right? So that manual input you could add also, that is also possible. Let's say after package, you may have some deploy stage. Okay, let me add one more stage. Any stage you can add just for our understanding. Let's say we want to deploy the application in some environment. Okay, so we just want to proceed this with the manual step. There is something like input block, input, and what message it has to display when it is asking for the input. Let's say select the version to deploy, or else select the environment, or select the server, or select the platform you want to deploy. Select the platform because there could be so many environments where it could be deployed. So select the platform. Once it is selected, platform selected. Actually, it's okay button. What you want to display is okay. Platform selected. Okay, that's a okay button should look like. And you want which type of parameter there? Do you want a choice or a text box? Means you want to write the platform name in a text box, or do you want to select from the drop down? Let's say I want to select from the drop down rather than writing it in a checkbox. Name is, let's say, what is the name? Let's say platform or environment. Just to make it more specific, I'm writing it. It could be like environment kind of. Then choices. What are the different choices you have for deployment? Let's say I want to deploy it on premise. On-prem, or else on EKS, or else on EC2. So it should show 3 things. So accordingly, the next logic will go. In our case, just selecting it, and if you want, you could print it as well, like deploying on so-and-so platform. Let's say deploying on, what is the parameter? Param start. The name of this is, 1 second, choices, choice. Does it don't have any name? Deploy input. We can give name as well. Let me check if we have name parameter there. Input block. We are searching for some input block. Okay, input, message, submitter, parameter, string, name. Similarly, choice, we could add a name, right? Let me add name. See, choice, name can be there. So that's a name. Oh, we have it. Okay, platform. Platform is the name. Okay. Platform. Now commit. Push. Only these 3 will be chosen. Other one will be chosen during the before that stage. Let's see the execution. Syntax error. Choice, name, platform, choices. Some syntax error. Let's see. Parameters, choice, choice, choices. Input block, message, okay, parameters.
This choice name platform is a capital P here, right? It is okay. Here it is small p.
It's not okay, but that shouldn't throw that error. It will show
Okay.
like, okay, it will show like a null variable, like it has shown earlier. We used all caps. But it is showing a different error. Choices. Input log. Steps. Let me try again. Cannot mix name and unnamed arguments. Cannot mix name and unnamed arguments. Here something is wrong with the syntax. Name and unnamed arguments. Choice, name, choices. On-prem EC2. On-prem.
Under parameter choice and then again choices.
That's what I did. Choice. This is what we did, right? Name and then choices.
But the small c, na?
Have I used capital? Small only. Choice. Choices. Oh, yeah, got it. Colon missing.
Yeah.
Better we could copy it. We should copy it and then modify it. Colon is missing. Okay. Right. Okay, see, it will wait here for your input. See, it just paused there. It has executed all the stages, but deploy stage is paused. If you see here also stages, it just got paused, right? Waiting for interactive input. That input block is for the interactive input. If you want to see that, you can go to the previous one, input requested, or else go to the pipeline and provide the input. Console output, click on this. See, it will show all the values you have given as a drop down. I'm choosing EC2, see, OK button is like platform selected is what I want. You could choose anything of your choice. Done. All the see, this is again null, maybe because of how we used it. Platform, params.platform. It hasn't taken this. See, deploying on null. Okay. Here also we could see when we go to configure how the parameter is looking like. App version. See, that parameter is not there. That these are all defined at the main level or the parent level. Those are all visible and those are all available. The other input block is not shown here. See, input parameter is not even present here. Maybe we'll see how to use it, but for now, yeah, it's not considering, it's not resolving correctly. But yeah, that's how input block can be used, where it will wait for the manual input, like interactive mode, right? Like for deployments, to choose the environments or whether to proceed for deployment or not, like a manual judgment kind of, we can use these things, right? So these are the different constructs we have. And now let's proceed executing the actual code, right? So what is compile? Like how do you compile? What is a command to do MEN compile? Isn't it? That's the command actually to run any compilation. It's MEN command compile, correct? So how do you execute that from the this pipeline as a code? SH commands, right? We can run some SH commands wherein you can execute those commands here. Stages, steps here. Let me add another SH command, which is MEN compile, right? That's what we need. Isn't it? It's a shell command. Same is the case here. SH MEN test. And here as well. MEN package. And if you want to include code review, you could do that. Package. After compile, let me edit. What is the goal, right? That's all. So that should execute all the stages, but it is executing as of now everything on master. So on master, it will check for the tools, right? We have already installed the tools. Let's see what happens. Accordingly, we'll make the corrections. Commit. Push. Let us build it. See, it's doing compiling, everything is happening. Do you see that? PMD, colon PMD, all of that happening. You could see them in the stages. Code review stages happening. And then we have package and deploy stages. Let's
What
wait.
is the downloading? This shows some downloading also.
May I know who is this?
Pradeep,
Okay. Where it is downloading these things? Are you talking about this?
initially, yeah, downloaded and download.
It will download
Downloading.
the dependencies, right? Maven commands.
Okay, okay.
Skip due to the failure, where it skipped and what it skipped. Let's see. Java incompatibility, right? On the server, it has to use the Java, whichever is available. Maybe some incompatible with it. Which stage failed? Let's see. Here you can clearly see packaging failed. And you could see the package message, shell command. You could see the error here itself, this web console. Failed to execute this one, right? For us, like we were executing using the tools from the server and it went well. Let's see what happened with that. Package stage, wherever we have executed, it went well using the Java from the server. See, this packaging went well. Let's see any changes in the Java configurations here. So Java 11 is configured, which it should be using. It is executing on the server only, so it should work. DEVOPS pipeline. We could run it on a different server and set the right version of Java. Somehow on the machine, it's not identifying the right version of Java and it's failing. We'll run it on a slave machine, okay? We have already executed it as separately successfully. So let's keep it. We'll run it on a slave. Okay, first of all, how to run any job on a slave machine? As of now, everything was going on to master, right? But what if I want to run it on a slave? That's where comes this agent block. Okay, before going to that agent block, let me tell you one more thing. If you remember unit test, we have unit test code review also, we have post build actions, right? Using post build actions, it has generated the reports. Do you remember that? Like you pass the raw format of the report and generate it. How do you achieve it here? Here also you can achieve it same way by adding post block. Post, and when do you want? Always after it, whether the job is successful or not, we want to use the JUnit plugin and then target the path of the reports. Surefire reports. Star.xml. Right? Understood?
Yeah. JUnit spelling. Yeah.
Yes. So this is helpful in generating a report. Similarly, here also for PMD also we do have, right? So let me get that as well. We would add a similar lines here for PMD as well. Post block again, you have different ways to configure the post block. Let me add after the steps. Post. Always. And it's PMD plugin. And the output is target / PMD.xml. We could correct it if that's something else, if that's a path is different. I'm just checking on the right plugin. Just a second. PMD, and it is actually pattern parameter. Pattern target.xml. This should do. Let me go and push the code. Post blocks added. Push this code. Right? And let's see. Before that, yesterday we had the code review, right? Let's go to code review. That is the code review. Configure. So when you choose the plugin PMD, it asks for the pattern. And that's what we have chosen here. And this is the pattern parameter. And how this is nothing but you are calling or configuring the plugin to do some post build actions, right? So how do you call those plugins or anything? Like if you go here for this pipeline as a code, here you have syntax reference as well. Sorry, steps reference, right? This is where you use the plugins like JUnit plugin. Sorry, JUnit. See, this is the plugin we were using. So what are all the parameters it has? Like we are passing the path. If you read it, you get some understanding of what we are doing. Similarly for PMD, let's search for PMD plugin. There should be a PMD plugin. Pattern. Actually, this is not the one. PMD plugin is deprecated. We are not seeing it. Actually, we should be seeing it. This pattern, these are all different steps you have. So the whole point is any plugin, if you want to use from pipeline as a code, here are the references, right? From here, you can understand like how to call it from the code and all test results. If you want LO the empty results, these are the different parameters you can use. That's how you got that code. Now this is the final code you have for PMD and all. Let me execute so that it should generate a report. Reports for both the stages. Package is failing anyway. That's about the package stage. But if you see other stages, oh, code review failed. One sec. Okay, PMD, it couldn't identify PMD. Where did I write that? Always, oh, because it's deprecated, might be it's not using this. PMD. That's how we use actually. If I don't use the plugin name, it can't identify it, like we were using JUnit and everything goes in. It's a PMD pattern. As it's deprecated, might be not supporting this. You could do one thing. If you want to try out something, instead of making changes there, pushing it here, you could also do this. You could go for replay and try out any changes you need here itself. All right. So maybe is it a violations plugin? Let me try. It's a plugin name, so it has got triggered. Console output. Still error. Okay, we'll figure it out. For now, I'm removing this line. Replay. Okay, I'll comment it from here itself. Post block. We'll see how we can use the plugin there. Let me push this much. Actually, we have used a plugin called violations plugin. Comments on GitHub, comments to GitLab. Okay. Code review. See, violations is the plugin actually. Projects to build report violations. What exactly is the plugin name? Report violations. I don't think we have such thing. Plugin name could be something else. Report violations. We'll update you on this. Okay, for now, we should be seeing at least the JUnit one. This is because package stage failed. Stages, yeah, package failed, but everything is there. Unit test. If you go to the build, we should see the test result. Yes, this is the report generated, right? Using post build. So that's how post build actions can be used. If you want to see the syntax or anything, you can also go for the syntax difference, post build, post blocks. Always or also when something is changed, you want to execute, you can choose the condition. In our case, we are choosing always because what may happen to it, I want to run the post build action. Is this much clear for everyone? And now everything is being executing on master, right? But that's not the case. We want to run on different machines. So you can write here agent none on the high level and choose the agent under every stage. Like, let's say I want to run on master agent any, stage 2 agent any, master, stage 3 unit test also, like wherever you want to run. I want to run package on master so that I could set the Java to the right version. Agent, and I want to run it on a slave machine, right? So we could add the labels here. The syntax, I'm trying to copy the syntax, should be written carefully. Agent, label, and the label name. Do you remember yesterday we have used some labels, Linux slave, so that package goes to this. Actually, this is a curly braces. Right? Every stage you have to define. This is agent any means why it is going to master. Is it the case always? Anyone? Also, we should start that slave machine, right?
Default, due to default.
Okay. Here, whenever we configured our slave, here we have chosen only jobs with a label expression. That's why it will not go there. It will go only to master. If you have chosen this option, use this node as much as possible, then agent any means it will go to the slave. Means it depends on how you configured your slave. It's not that agent any means it will always go to the master. It depends on how you configured it. Understood? Slave is running now. Package should go to the slave. Again, some error. Stage code review. Oh, typo. Agent. Okay. That's how you can run on any machine from the pipeline as a code. Like you can configure the slaves from Jenkins file. Here we used to select a checkbox, right? This is how you configure in the Jenkins file.
Priti, how many slaves generally we can configure, Priti?
Any number, there is no strict rule, this should be the number.
So if you select any, right, it go to any Jenkins slave, right? It is not, we can give the choice for that, right?
High availability, right? You will have multiple. This is slave one and it's here. And you could see here, it failed, deploy stage failed, but MVN command not found. Why you are seeing this? Yesterday when you run a job, it went there. Do you remember? I think yesterday we did, which job we executed on slave? Code review, I think.
For slaves, yeah, yesterday it is Maven configured through the UI, I think. That's why it
Through
is
the
passed.
UI only, I'm asking which job we did run on the slave. Unit test job. We selected this checkbox, it worked. It doesn't give us error, Maven not found. But now why is say giving Maven not found? Maven is configured through global tool configuration. Do you remember? Are you following? Understood my question?
Yes.
So my question is, yesterday we executed a job, whether it is from UI or the pipeline as a code, it's irrespective to me. I should have Oh, sorry. I don't have Maven here, but still it worked fine. Why you remember? It has installed these tools, right? It has installed the tools using global tool configuration, hence it worked fine. Correct? Unit test is successful yesterday, if you see.
Hello?
Correct or not? Unit test is successful yesterday because it has used global tool configuration. Maven is not there on the server, but Maven is installed in the tools folder and it's using the Maven from here and hence it's working. But now it's failing. So can I tell my job to use tools from global tool configuration via this code?
Yeah. Yes.
Understood the point? Yes, you can do that. There is another block called tools block. See, tools, tool name, and your installer name. This is the syntax. So that my job knows it should use the tools from here. So tools block. And what is the installer name we have given? Correct? Now it will use that Maven and execute the job. Otherwise, it will search for the tool on the server. That's why earlier unit test worked, because in unit test job, we have selected this. Also here I have chosen the tool which it has to use. This one, this way. Understood. That's why it's successful. Now let me trigger again and see if it will use the global tool configurations. Already it is installed yesterday, but now it should use that Maven to proceed with the job. Reviewing. Slave one. It should run MVN compile, MVN package. Yes, now it's working successfully. Do you see that? But it will use Java from the server only because I did not configure automatic installer. But yes, it is successful. Do you see that? TMP, workspace, target, address book were created, waiting for the input. Let's say KS, and it should be successful. Earlier packaging failed on the master machine because of Java incompatibilities, but now on the slave machine it worked. All the stages went well. Understood? And yes, here on the slave machine, I have a job called DEVOPS pipeline. And here, if you go to target, address book var file generated. Are we good? So what are all the things we learned? Using the tools block, parameters block, stage, configuring on a slave machine, right? When conditional statements, input block. These are all the things we have learned today. Any questions from anyone?
Pretty here, I mean, pipeline as a code, we are using Groovy, right? Anything we can use like Python or anything here?
No, you can't use. This is also not Groovy. It is derived from Groovy. Base is Groovy, not exactly. This is pipeline DSL, pipeline domain specific language, which is Groovy based. It's derived from Groovy. It's not exact Groovy. So you can't use any language of our choice. We should use only this pipeline DSL.
And what about this Go? Somewhere I have seen that people have started using Go also. Is Go and Groovy also both same?
Both are not same, both are different.
Where we use the Go also?
Go is a programming language, like you have Java and all. It
Mhm.
could be used in different ways, like you
Okay.
use Java. Hmm. I think we shall stop here and we'll get started tomorrow. Any more questions from anyone? This code is available on the repository on the B2 branch. You can go there and use it. Tomorrow, I'll talk about multi-branch pipelines. Tomorrow, I'll also show you how you can use an SH agent in a better way, like SH machine in a better way. There is another way of using the same slave machine. So how to use it? What is a multi-branch pipeline? And then we will look into also, I'll give you like how you can use ChatGPT to make your pipelines better. This is the agenda for tomorrow. Any more questions anyone has? Do thorough practice, thorough hands-on is needed. For the first time, just clone the code and just copy it and use it. Understanding the code is important rather than writing line by line, because there are many ways you can write the code. I'll help you with that tomorrow with all the additional references and how you can develop this Jenkins file easily. So focus on understanding it and running the code. And we shall take up from here tomorrow. Actually, this is completed, but we'll take one more day, a grace day, where I would cover some miscellaneous things and important things, and we'll summarize it, the whole thing. So now we have integrated Git, Maven, Jenkins, and we can get started with Docker, which we'll do like after tomorrow. We'll start, not from tomorrow. Like I said, we'll look into some important miscellaneous things and we'll go summarize the things, and then we'll start Docker. Maybe next to next class. SSH agent thing, and then multi-branch and ChatGPT references for tomorrow. All right then. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you,
Bye.
Pradeep.
Thank you. Thank you.